show you is the rotational pivot. Okay, rotational pivot. This one can be a little tricky, so listen close. Okay? What direction am I rotating now? To the right, okay? What direction, watch close, am I rotating now? To the right. Okay? In one case, the top was moving on the bottom. In the other case, the bottom was moving on the top. With all of these pivums, we've been doing what? Bottom up, right? So we're doing bottom up here. So here's the confusing part. The confusing part is we want to make sure that we're remembering what direction of rotation we're doing with this. It can be confusing because we're going bottom up. So I'm going to teach you the rule of the legs. Okay, it's called the rule of the legs. Ready for this one? This allows you in the heat of the moment to not have to think about what direction you're going. All you're simply going to need to remember is what direction the legs are going. So if I'm doing these rotational pivums, can everybody see how I'm creating rotation in her lumbar spine? Right? So I'm going from the bottom up and I'm creating rotation. Now what's deceiving is the direction. It's easy to see I'm creating rotation. The question is, what direction of rotation is that? Rule of the legs. Whatever side the legs go to is the side of rotation. So this right here for Holly is right rotation. Okay? As I bring those legs toward me, the legs are coming to her left. This is left rotation. So wherever side the legs go to, that's the side of rotation. All right, pop quiz. What direction of rotation is this? What direction is this? What direction is this? What direction is this? Very good. You guys are very smart. Okay? Rule of the legs. So that way you don't have to think about it. And you might say, oh, wait a minute, how's that possible? If you're going this way, because we're talking, our reference point is always the bottom, the top down. Okay? All right? But we're doing it from the bottom up. Okay? So rule of the leg will help you understand that. Now with that being said, if you've noticed, I can do this with somebody like Holly. Pretty easy for me to do. I can kind of grab onto these feet and I can create rotation, and that's no problem at all. I can do that and I can feel that motion, life's good. Right? But for bigger people or smaller therapists, that may be an issue. And so what I'm going to recommend is actually the pelvic grab technique. Okay? Pelvic grab technique is basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your forearm, you're going to move the gluteus maximus aside, and then you're going to grab their ASIS. Right? So I'm kind of in here like this. I just basically kind of pull them over, grab their ASIS, and then I'm like good to go. Okay? What I'm going to do to create the rotation now is this. All right? See how I'm creating rotation here? So this is the same thing, minus all these joints that I have to try to control with the legs. So I can do this much easier. It's easier for me to feel motion. I don't have to worry about the knees and the size of the legs or any of that. So it's much easier. The same deal though. And as I'm doing this, I simply remember, well, the legs would be coming this side, rule of the legs, so that's left rotation. Right? So that rule still helps me, but my recommendation is to go with the pelvic technique instead. Okay? So I'm here like this, I grab under ASIS, I create motion, I'm watching that motion. In this case, I'm creating what direction of rotation? Left rotation, creating left rotation. I take that same area, my finger, and I'm just right here, and I'm feeling for interspinous space. I'm feeling for rotation within that lumbar spine. Okay? Now, I can tell you that what do we know about rotation in the lumbar spine? Yeah, itsy tiny bit, right? Not a lot of rotation. Sagittal orientation of the facet joints, not a lot of rotation. So you're not going to feel a lot going on intersegmentally with this. But we're using it to assess symptomatic response. So it's still useful to create rotation and see how the patient responds symptomatically. As I'm going through all of these, I'm observing and feeling motion, and then I'm communicating with the patient about at what level I'm eliciting symptoms. That's really what I'm looking for. The connection with movement and symptoms, and trying to isolate where those symptoms are coming from. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so rotational pivums. I can use the legs, rule of the leg, or I can do the pelvic grab. I'm creating motion, and I'm palpating for rotation, of which there is not a lot in the lumbar spine. Okay, rotational pivums.